This audio horror series contains adult themes and horror. Viewer's discretion is highly advised. You have been warned. There's a house on the edge of town no one talks about anymore. The kind of place kids dare each other to approach on Halloween night. Everyone says it burned down years ago, but when Tom stood before it, the structure was still there, intact, just wrong. Like the fire had licked it but never consumed it. The boards were blackened, the windows fogged from within. He wasn't scared, just curious. He was a paranormal photographer on hiatus, and the silence of the house whispered a challenge. One last mystery, one last thrill. The floorboards groaned as he stepped inside. Flashlight casting long, narrow beams that barely pierced the dust. Family photos hung crooked on the walls, faces smudged or missing. A soot trail curved up the stairs, leading towards the attic. Strangely, the trapdoor was slightly open. The attic was pitch black until he saw it. At the far end, behind a veil of cobwebs and ash, stood an antique full-length mirror. Its charred wooden frame curled like burned bone. Boku carvings twisted into screaming shapes. The glass was smeared with ash-gray streaks and blackened smudges. It shouldn't have been beautiful, but Thomas felt entranced. As he stepped closer, he noticed something strange. It's reflected the attic, but not as it was. It was cleaner, lit by candles, and he was in the reflection, standing still. But he wasn't holding a flashlight. He was smiling. Okay, Thomas whispered, raising his camera. Let's see what makes you tick. He snapped a picture. The flash went off The image developed instantly. He looked down. In the photo, it was empty. No attic, no mirror, no Thomas. Just black. When he looked back to the mirror, his reflection now looked directly at him. He blinked first, and then he blinked. A delay, like a memory echo. Then slowly, reflection tilted its head, grinning wide. Its eyes were empty, hollow and black, as if someone had scooped them out. Then it raised its hand and began to tap the glass. 1, 2, 3. Thomas didn't move, but behind him, he heard something step out from the shadows. He turned sharply, flashlight trembling. It was nothing. Then he looked back at the mirror. His reflection was suddenly gone. The mirror now showed the attic as it was. Cold, rotting. The same soot trail he followed was now forming in the mirror, leading deeper behind the frame. Then he noticed something within the mirror. Something inside the glass was moving. He turned to leave, but he couldn't. The attic door was gone. In its place, more mirrors. Every wall now reflected back at him. There was no exit, no seams, just Thomas on all sides. Dozens of them. But they were all slightly different. Heads twisted, eyes gouged. Some of them were screaming. All but except one. At the center, a version of him smiled with bloody teeth and stepped forward towards him. He tried to scream, but that version of him put his hand around his mouth and just told him to shh. Thomas's neighbors found the house 3 days later, collapsed into ash. Because suddenly, that same night that Thomas disappeared, the house suddenly went up in flames. Inside the rubble was a single item, untouched by the fire. A mirror, pristine, cold. It showed the attic as it had been. But some say, if you look close enough, you could still see Thomas standing there, smiling and tapping the glass.
This is. I found the artifact. Send team for extraction of artifact 042, the Mirror of Ash, back to the Institute. The Institute of the Curio Preservation Bureau. To be placed within the Obscura files.